In case you haven't tuned in before, thank you for joining us. This is the #1 Tyranid shit show on the internet, otherwise known as the Creature Conference. And I should officially introduce my guests who are with me tonight. Of course, we have the famous, German and famous Hive Fleet Moloch. Marco, want to say hi, Marco?
Hello.
Good one. We have the long-suffering other member of the Creature Conference, Flynn Hammer.
Hello, boys and girls, and those in between.
That sounded a little bit creepy. And then, of course, we are joined by my favorite agent of chaos, joining us from behind a dumpster somewhere where he found a roti or some curry or something like that, Symbio Joe.
Welcome, fellow very normal human beings.
Thanks for joining us, buddy.
And I'm very thankful to be officially invited and do not have to come through the sewers this time.
We're here for a very exciting stream that Marco has been waiting for with bated breath for quite some time now. And we're here to discuss some Tyranid rumors. We've been meaning to do this for a few weeks, and I'm sorry that we didn't get to it yet. However, the bright side is that because we didn't get to this previous weeks, we now have more stuff to discuss, because in the interim, some more tasty Tyranid rumors have dropped. So you may have heard things about Magistraunts, Norn Emissaries, or Malceptrixes, Cerebrofexes. So we're going to get to the bottom of all the brofexes and tell you what is what today. So Valrak had a video, which was unfortunate because he had some trouble pronouncing some stuff. And he said what I think was Norn Emissary, that there's going to be a Norn Emissary for Tyranids. And then he said Norn Emissary Bard Gaunts, all in one line. So I don't know if that was like Norn Emissary, comma, then Bard Gaunts, Bad Gaunts. I couldn't really hear what he was saying. And then he said there was going to be an Alpha and or Lictor Prime. I don't know what the and or Lictor Prime stuff is. And that was when he said that there was going to be a June 24th launch for Warhammer, because that's like the date when everyone's being told they can't take vacation. There's like some math about like the different arcs of Omen coming out a month at a time, and they would lead to like a late June thing. And then he was also predicting that we're probably going to see Tyranids at Warhammer Day at the end of April.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably when the preview is going to happen. All this stuff. That was early February, but then I think earlier this week we got some real weird Tyranidness breaking this week with a whole pile of stuff that sounds rather odd, but whatever. For anyone who hasn't seen it yet, this is like the most recent thing that came out. What we got in this is we got one Norn Malceptrix, big brain bug, lesser incarnation of the Norn Queen, able to evolve units. Semi-feminine. One Tyranid Primus, big warrior, has 2 Devourers, large sword, whip claw. One Lictor, new evolved form of Lictor. 2 Magistraunts, strange mix of Venomthropes and Pyrovore. 20 Genestealers, new kit, has an option for armored plates and acid claws. 1 Cerebrofex, blend of a Carnifex and a Zoanthrope, smaller than a Malceptor. 3 Gene Hunters, new breed of warriors designed to be better shock troopers made with Space Marine gene seeds. They literally eat. And then separately, that first list, I think it was posted alongside a list of Space Marine models, and it was kind of implied that in the 10th edition box set, it's going to have all these things. And anyway, that seems a little unlikely to me, but we'll get into that. Separately in that same batch, it said new kits, Tyranid kits twice. New models for Termagants and Hormagaunts. It's a dual kit. New models for Biovores, Pyrovores, dual kit. Comes in 3s. Dual kit Cerebrofex and Super Carnifex. Genetics based off old One Eye. And 3 new big monster kits. They say that most NID players like their big monsters. And then a new Red Terror. And I figured the best way to go through this stuff, because, you know, we're all seasoned Tyranid dudes. Marco's been in the Codex, used to work with the studio. We must have some indication of whether this stuff is true or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'd expect. We're going to go through each of these rumors, and we're going to rate them on the Creature Conference Tyranid Rumour Scorecard. Scorecard. I got a little help from Symbio Joe coming up with this idea. And we have this scale here. So from the left to right, we have extremely unlikely for the rumor, extremely maybe for the rumor, or extremely likely for the rumor. That's a little awkward, right? Like, if we're going to be like, say, it's extremely maybe, we're going to assign different Tyranid beasties to this list, to this scale. If I'm asking you, and the rumor's like, that is definitely going to happen. There's no question. That rumor is 100%. You are going to say, I'm going to give that a plastic Lictor. That's how likely this is to happen. Because plastic Lictor, right? Obviously, definitely going to happen. We're definitely getting a plastic Lictor. So if you think that a rumor is very likely to happen, you're like, I'm just going to call it the Brofex because Cerebrofex breaks my mouth. Brofex, definitely. I give that one Tyranid Lictor. All right, let's just say that it's a rumor like, I don't know, Apex Swarmlord. They're like, they already got a Swarmlord. I don't really know. I'm kind of maybe on that. You're going to say, I give that rumor one Red Terror. Because the Red Terror is kind of like in an in-between place. They took him out of the Codex last time. Everyone loves him, but apparently he's gone. But apparently this rumor says that there's a Red Terror coming. Red Terror is going to stand in for extremely maybe for us. Can anyone think of a Tyranid creature that is just never going to happen? Not a chance, but everybody, like, that this is like a very popular Tyranid creature that may have had a model before, and people just wish, that the Tyranid creature would come back, but it's never going to happen. Does anyone have like a suggestion for what creature could personify that kind of vibe?
Why do I think you're going for Shrikes?
Shrikes! You're never getting Shrikes, Flynn! You're never getting Shrikes! They're never gonna happen! Marco sent a special envoy from Hive Fleet of Ouroboros here to bring the bad news, Flynn, that you're never getting Shrikes, buddy.
I said if you want to do emotional damage to Flynn, you take Shrikes.
Exactly. And I said emotional damage to Flynn? Sign me up. Well, here we go. We're going to do the Cerebrofex. Cerebrofex / Old One Eye. So this is our first victim of the Tyranid Scorecard. It has been rumored that there will be a new big Carnifex coming out called a Cerebrofex, that it's going to be based on Old One Eye gene stock or whatever, and that it sounds like it's going to be a dual kit. There was a descriptor of it being like a Carnifex with a Zoanthrope head. I got some visual aids. I was trying to find a personification of what a Carnifex would look like if it had a Zoanthrope head, kind of like a mid-step between a Zoanthrope and a Malceptor, yes. So if you had like the Zoanthrope is the small one, the Malceptor is the big one, and there was an interim step of a Carnifex size one. One Above All Designs did these really cool, beefy, brawny Carnifexes from 3rd edition, and then put a Zoanthrope head on them. And that's a pretty cool Cerebrofex, if you ask me. And then in terms of that being a dual build, if you were to make a big badass Carnifex, of course, I would want it to look like this classic art of Old One Eye that came out in Inquis Exterminatus that I'm always going on and on about. And another possible candidate, again, I'm biased, is these sexy sketches that Roberto Cirillo did for Darth Bob's Great Red Dragon that I'm working on. This could be kind of cool. Look for a big badass looking Carnifex, and one that I would be happy to field under the Macrofex title. How likely do you think the Cerebrofex Old One Eye is to come out? Is it extremely unlikely? Is it a Tyranid Shrike? Is it extremely maybe? Is it a Red Terror? Or is it extremely likely? Plastic Lick Flynn, Symbio, Marco, hit me up.
I say for everything that is rumored to be a dual kit, Shrike. Because I think this is the time where we get away from the dual kits.
So because this is rumored to be a dual kit, you are saying that this is Shrike. This is not going to happen.
Yep.
Wow. Bold opening volley from Symbio Joe. Lynn, what do you say?
Because they're going to do it as a new Old One Eye, I think it's more of a Lictor. But with the whole Old One Eye just meant to be a Carnifex that just kept regenerating itself. It's between a Red Terror and a Lictor for me.
Okay, good. Marco, lay it on me, big boy.
I have to divide it into my personal wish listing and my personal values and what is likely to happen. Sadly, the last time I was involved with the Codex, I was like, oh no, guys, don't do this. Sounds so lame to me.
Don't do what?
I was not very impressed by the creativity that came from the studio in creating new creatures back then. I was like, ugh. That's what I feel pretty much about the Carnifex variants right now. I was like, ugh. It doesn't.
Even this new one?
Yeah, well, if a kid would come like this, it doesn't inspire my imagination a lot, I have to say. But on the other hand, I think it sounds fairly likely.
So what would you say? Would you say it's a Shrike, a Red Terror, or a Plastic Lictor?
Oh, it's going to be Plastic Lictor for sure.
Okay, so it's definitely, you think it's definitely going to happen. For me, I think this is likely, and I think it's likely because this has been rumored twice, that we got the Macrofex rumor last year, and then we got the Cerebrofex. But I guess some people have said that second batch of rumors seems a little like wonky. If those are wonky, someone could have just taken the Macrofex and called it something else or something. I think it's Lictor. Chat feels like it's a maybe, but also possibly unlikely. If this was a 5-point scale, they would be a square 2. Unfortunately, I made a 3-point scale. Excellent work. You guys did great with that. All right, next rumor. We are going to go with...
We should do the Emissary.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Norn thing. For the Norn Emissary or the Malceptrix, everybody, I want this to be a Norn Queen. Am I not the only one who wants this to be a Norn Queen?
No.
No. Okay. If we're talking about a Norn Malceptrix, I go to the Dominatrix, because the Dominatrix is supposed to have like a vestigial or like a young Norn Queen on its back. This is an amazing sketch that was done by Vermis, who you know, Vermis123, spelled Vyrmis, on Instagram. Warren drew this a long time ago, very much inspiring to any of us who tried to make a Dominatrix, come up with concepts for a Dominatrix. This is a great version of the classic epic 40k Tyranid Dominatrix. And then I made this Dom in 2021. I finished it. Biggest thing I've ever sculpted. There's a gaunt there for scale. So this is a possibility for what a Norn Emissary might look like if it was like the classic epic 40k Tyranid Dom. Or this made the rounds on the internet. It's Drogar, the dragon from Archaon. Pretty simple conversion where you just take a Toxicrene kit and you take the Toxicrene tail and you take the
Malceptor head, yeah.
I hate that name so much. You take a Malceptor head, you put it on there, you do a little bit of Tyranid bits to it, and this is a great model. So this is a cool idea for what a Norn Emissary Malceptrix could look like. Anyway, now let's go through the ratings to see what everyone thinks. So, Glenn, what are you saying?
Plastic Lictor. Now, the reason, just to briefly do it, is needs something bigger. I don't think it will be called like a Norn Emissary or a Malceptrix. I think those names are just a bit off for them. But I do think they will get something on that scale, knight's size scale, because at the moment the only thing that's that tall is basically the Hierophant, which is a 4-droid only. So I think they're going to do something in plastic that big for Nids.
Okay, great. And you think this is going to be it, but maybe not with that name. So next, Marco, what do you think?
Yeah, Red Terror. I'm in the middle. But as always, I'm confused between what I would like to see and what I think is likely.
So tell us both.
Yeah, it just doesn't kick my imagination into anything. Flynn is of course right. There's gonna be a big kit, which I'm hugely looking forward to. But this is not like blech. I would like to imagine something more that's giving me more inspiration.
But even what if they took like Warren's concept for a Tyranid Dominatrix and they updated the old school Dom from Epic and they gave you that in plastic at a knight scale, not at the big full scale? How would you feel about that?
Then I couldn't be more fired up. But I
don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah, it's not. It sounds too nice to be true.
Okay. All right. So extremely maybe from Marco. Symbio, what you saying?
I go with a plastic Lictor with a downside because I'm expecting some design choices everybody hates.
Like what? Tell me more.
Like the gray one on the back of the Epic Dominatrix.
Okay.
Something really off is coming, I think.
Oh, like with the weird throne? Like it doesn't look good?
No, that there will be something in it that is not classic Tyranid design.
Oh, okay.
But I think a miniature that is big has to come because with all the releases you have to have in mind, Tyranid players have to buy this.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah. And then for me, so it's weird. I feel like I'm a lot more optimistic before I talk to you guys. And then once I talk to you guys, I'm like, oh, well, that's a good point. Oh, well, I don't know about that. Oh, shit, that's a really good point. I don't know. What am I going to do?
Oh, yeah.
Before I was in like over here in Plastic Lictor land. But now, as you've been making good points, I'm like slipping into Red Terror. But I'm like on the cusp leaning Plastic Lictor. And I'm going to tell you why. It's the same stupid rationale that I took last time that maybe we've heard this from 3 different sources, or maybe we've heard this from one source since it's been reported at least 2 times. Back in July of 2020, at that time, they were listing new Zoanthrope HQ. And what I'm wondering is if this thing was mistaken for a Zoanthrope HQ. And that was listed separately from the Macrofex. So you could if a Macrofex is this thing with a Zoanthrope head on it, you could look at that and be like, that looks like a Zoanthrope. But if they're listing Macrofex and Zoanthrope HQ, maybe the Zoanthrope HQ is this Norn Emissary Malceptrix thing because it looks like Psychic-y or something. Anyway, so we had that in 2022. We didn't have it in January, but then in February, we had it from Valrak, from his source that he trusts. And then the other source that could have been ripping off the like Valrak or something, the other source said Norn Malceptrix and that feminine thing. And then also that part about it being able to evolve things, like the character being able to evolve creatures, that I was literally talking to Bargaze. Games Workshop is bugging my conversations with people. I'm telling you right here. Because I was talking to Bargaze literally last week about like cool, because I was asking Bargaze what a Norn Emissary could be, in their opinion. And they said that there was this, I think it's a Guy Haley book or something about Tyranids. And apparently there's some like Norn Queen manifestation that happens on the planet. And it starts evolving Tyranids with its psychic powers, which I thought was damn cool. So anyway, for those reasons, I think this might be real.
I'm reading the book right now, actually. But yeah,
cool.
Interesting. Yeah. Good.
Oh, one thing that I wanted to mention when we were talking about the Malceptrix, another reason that I believe Norn Emissary, Malceptrix, whatever, is I think the Games Workshop needs to use a name that isn't Tyranid Dom, because that's not a good name to try and sell a model under. I don't know why that makes me believe that it's coming, but I don't know. I think that they want to like bring the Dom into the new age of 40k. Oh,
yeah, good point.
What are people saying in the chat, Flynn, for the Norn?
So we have 3 Shrikes. Just because I counted it earlier, 1 Lictor and 1 Red Terror.
Oh,
very pessimistic.
So chat is not having any of this. So chat is like 3 Shrikes. So 3 Shrikes is here. 3 Shrikes is like the end of Shrike. You got a Lictor, which brings it to about here, and you got a Red Terror, which brings it to about here. So chat, on average, is mostly unlikely, but edging out a little bit. Mostly unlikely. Man.
Yep.
Chat is pessimistic as heck. Let's keep it moving. We're going to go with new Gaunts. Marco, you go first this time.
New Gaunts, yeah. For sure, it's going to be a Lictor, a plastic Lictor, of course.
Good man.
Yep.
Anything else you want to say about them?
Not sure we really need them because the Gaunts are damn fine models. But I can see what they could improve on them. So yeah, it's going to be very likely. I'm really looking forward to how they could look with today's delicate plastic technology and small and thin parts.
Nice. That would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Marco, have you looked at a Termagant lately? When you say that they're still damn fine?
Yes,
I think you probably should. Okay.
I'm still a fan.
Okay. And like, what do you think about this Hyper Gaunt Swarm thing versus having like individual Gaunts to having like multiple Gaunts on one base? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it sounds interesting for me. I like it.
Guys, can you think of any brilliant Tyranid human being who might have come up with a fantastic concept for what new Gaunts should look like? Like, I mean, how do you innovate on such perfection? Like,
Marco, with the Crimson Stalkers, they were amazing.
Hey, shut up.
Oh yes, Marco, yes, very well. I can only think of Marco. I mean, who else?
You bastards! You guys are the worst.
You set yourself up for that.
I dead set myself up for that. You're welcome. Oh, right. Okay, yeah. Okay,
Thanks,
Marco.
Thank you.
Marco might have done some cool things with a Gaunt in his day. He might have taken a second edition Ripper head, slapped it on a Gaunt head, slapped a Barb Strangler barrel together with a Devourer barrel, twisted a little Gaunt tail, got some tubes in there.
Be more petty about it.
Put a third edition acid. Is that an acid one or bioacid, or is that a toxin one? I don't know. I can't remember. Poison? Some kind of mine on the back. Did his patented cardboard Tyranid armor plates.
Yes.
Maybe Marco did some cool Gaunts once upon a time. Maybe. Okay, so in addition to Marco's brilliant Crimson Stalkers that everyone saw in White Dwarf and was the reason they got into the hobby, I also made some standard Gaunts. I made some innovative Gaunts in the last 10 years.
Absolutely.
That was a dig. That was a subtle dig. I made upright Gaunts because I wanted them to look cooler. Next is Symbio.
I go with a extremely maybe, so I go with Red Terror because I really want those Hormagaunts that do not fall over, and I think the Hypergaunt base might be the cheeky way out.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a little bit more pessimistic, so I go with the Red Terror.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks. Flynn.
Plastic Lictor. So they got rumored this time last year. That's one of the main ones. But I'm saying Plastic Lictor, but overall, I don't think it's going to be a dual kit because
tasty.
All I think it's going to do is the sculpts. They're going to keep them the basic generic design to them is going to be the same. Just going to get a more compact sprue, so we're going to get more on the sprue, and I think it's going to be better. It's going to be at least 5 or 10 on a sprue, but they're going to be on much smaller sprues, so you get more in the box. I think because
I like that.
If they're going to be the big bad, if Nids are going to be the big bad, they're also going to be the big bad for the Partwork magazine when it comes out. So they're going to have it so they can easily put like 5 gaunts on a sprue, or 10 gaunts in an A4 size and send that out.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, Flynn. For me, new gaunts, I think they have to happen. With the pattern that they've shown us with like renewing the Guardians, renewing the Kroot, renewing the Necron Warriors, gaunts have to happen. I'm with Flynn. I don't want a dual kit because I don't think that you can have, well, if they do a dual kit, they have to put the guns on the Hormagaunt bodies because the Hormagaunt bodies are more lithe. They're more like acrobatic and stuff. I don't think that a frumpy like Hormagaunt body can work on a Hormagaunt. If they get the bodies right, sure, maybe they can have guns. But I want them to be more lithe. Flynn, how's the chat saying about rating these?
Lictor. Chat wants new gaunts.
Yeah.
Good man. Thanks. So mostly Lictors. Finally, the creature conference comes on to the optimistic side.
Yay.
Very optimistic, that yay.
That's gaunts. Where we go next? Someone give me a thing.
Genestealers. Because that'll be a quick one.
Okay, yeah. So next we will do Genestealers. So Flynn, I think you get to start this time. Tell us where you want to be on the scale.
Extremely likely the Plastic Lictor, because as you love to say, we have some sculpts that have been out for quite a few years that they never did anything further to. So they've already got the sculpts made. They just have to put them onto a new sprue, give more options for the head options. I can't remember what the other rumor about them was about their heads, but more heads the better. And yeah, simple. But I think how they may come out is you'll get the basic set of the Genestealers first.
Did you say Genestealer or Junestealer? Oh my god. Flynn, what if we got new Genestealers and Junestealer? How perfect would that be, buddy?
Oh, I've already been planning new things.
Yeah.
How cute is that? Oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for Genestealers and Junestealer. I feel like I need to buy Flynn some. Because damn.
Yep.
I think it's going to be that Genestealers will be there, but I think you're going to get the first set of Genestealers will be very basic, and then they'll get a kill team upgrade.
Oh god, please
get
no.
the extra sprue with the extra stuff. That's how I think they'll do it.
Please don't give me that Cadian bullshit. That like we released an upgrade sprue for old Cadians. We released new Cadians. Then we released an upgrade sprue for new Cadians. Put that shit in the box. That would be terrible. I hope you're wrong, because that would be soul destroying.
Yes, but we all know Games Workshop will do it.
Like you can't give a kill team upgrade sprue for something right after it came out. Those are for upgrading old kits, but whatever. Next is I think Symbio.
I 100% agree with Flinhammer.
That it's going to be plastic Genestealer. I mean plastic Lictor. It has to happen.
Yeah, 100% plastic Lictor, and we will get a very mediocre upgrade sprue for kill team.
But like they can't do that right on the heels. Well, I guess they did it for Cadians. They were right on the heels of Cadian release.
Yep.
Oh god, I hate how right you probably are. Way to bring it down, team. Okay, Marco, give me some love. Give me some happiness. What are you feeling?
Yeah, well, no, sorry, but I'm pretty sure we will get some new Genestealers, but I'm not sure it's going to be anything exciting. So for me, it's a Red Terror, and I'm not expecting a lot. I would love to be surprised though.
Okay, that was a good answer. I put up a picture of one of Marco's beautiful Genestealers from the Crimson Stalkers of Tenebra Prime, the greatest Tyranids that were ever made. Everyone got into the hobby because these fucking Tyranids.
I was already there.
Marco's done some shit hot Tyranids, some shit hot Genestealers in his day. So I have got some of those pretty boys up on the screen, and this one here is one of my favorites. a creepy Genestealer Lictor hybrid thing, stealing the brains out of a Imperial Guard officer. In addition to Marco's brilliance, I'm trying to plug my own brilliance and putting up some hybrid Genestealers that I made back in the day. This was when that Genestealer kit came out in 2003, 2004. Orc Genestealer hybrid, Eldar Genestealer hybrid, killing a Towboy, and then I actually painted the Orc. I would be here, Plastic Lictor, but just because they've had these models since 2016 and they're doing it to piss me off, I'm going on the Red Terror, because damn it. Flynn, what did the chat say? What do they think about new Genestealers?
Red Terror, straight up.
Okay.
It's only 3 responses, 3 Red Terrors.
From Genestealers, you know where we're going? We're going over to their brothers, the Gene Hunters. Not to be confused with your friend Gene from high school, who happened to have the last name Hunter. That's not the Gene Hunter we're talking about here, guys. These were described as as Tyranids that eat exclusively Space Marine gene seed. And as Flynn pointed out, that niche is already filled by Tyrant Guard, which were supposed to have evolved from Space Marine gene seed. Symbio, what do you think of these gene hunters?
Well, we have the Soul Stealers, which confuses me a bit because GW likes to scrape the barrel right now, and I think I go with the Red Terror on this because I'm really unsure what is going on there.
Awesome. Marco, go.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's true. It's Red Terror for me. Nothing that excites me in the least, but I'm afraid it's true.
Okay, Flynn, go.
I'm going with... It's between Shrike and Red Terror. Shrike, in regards to the background of them being, we've eaten gene seed, but more on the lines of I can see them saying it with like, it's Primaris Marines they've taken on, but it's just basically, hello Genestealers, hello Lictors. We want to put something just in between the two of you, but that's not a warrior. It's just, I don't think they'll do it. If they do it, just give them wings. Give them wings, and then I can call them Shrikes.
Look at the chat, Flynn. Extremely
That's
unlikely.
why they're in Shrikes.
Shrikes are extremely unlikely. You're not getting Shrikes. Stop trying to make Shrikes happen, Flynn. Shrikes is not going to happen.
Nice try.
No, it's just Mingos, isn't it?
All right. I actually want to get the chat's response before I give mine. Chat, what are you saying?
So they have.
So chat should have been here.
Destroyers.
And then there was another Shrike, so it went here. But then there was a Plastic Lictor, so it went here. So chat's like in there.
Oh, and we've got one more Shrike.
Oh, no. Brought it back to the middle. You bastards. Okay. Apparently, Gene Hunters are never going to happen. Y'all ready for this?
Bam, bam, bam.
I think this is definitely happening. I think that the fluff is garbage, but you know why I think this is definitely happening? Because I looked at these as like some kind of Tyranid warrior evolution, because I think they were described that way as like big beefy warriors. These are not Tyranid warriors. I missed the gene part of the Gene Hunters because they were like Space Marine gene seed. I'm like, that's stupid fluff. But these are Genestealers. They're Gene Hunters. They're the warrior version of Genestealers, and I want them in my life and I need them. And as Symbio Joe mentioned, we already have Soul Stealers. Is that what they were called? Symbio?
Yes.
Is it Soul Stealers? The ones that were the big genes?
I think it was Soul Stealers. Those Genestealer types that only had 2 set of limbs.
Sorry, they were in the Space Hulk old computer game. I didn't know about them until a couple of years ago. So I think that you're right, Symbio. I think they're scraping the bottom of the barrel, and I think they want to scrape the bottom of the barrel for Soul Stealers, and I think they're going to call them Gene Hunters. So I think this is extremely likely, partially because it's so dumb, but maybe it'll be cool. Okay. Next. Okay, because Marco said go, we're going to the Lictor. Plastic Lictor.
Yes. Yay!
Plastic Lictor.
Plastic Lictor.
Oh, wait, I should modify that. And Marco, you get to go first. So we have rumors of a prime or an alpha Lictor. I was supposed to put this in for Gene Hunters. This is some more lovely art from Roberto Cirillo.
Yeah.
Sorry I didn't get that out. That's basically a big badass Broodlord that Roberto drew before around the 4th or 5th edition. I can't remember which codex.
Yes, of course. I mean, if I didn't sound too enthusiastic so far, it's not because I'm opposed to getting new models. I'm totally looking forward to the whole release. Like, really looking forward to it. But I'm always looking out for the horror element in Tyranids. And sadly, the Concepts Games Workshop came up with, and the design team don't excite me for like 10, 20 years now. Because I think there's so much more potential. Well, of course, the Lictor does it for me. It's gonna happen for sure. It's gonna be a plastic Lictor, obviously. There's gonna be an upgrade kit for a bigger one. We already had one with a how was it called?
Death Leaper? Death Leaper?
Yes, of course it was. And I'm sure it's gonna be interesting. I'm not sure we're all going to love it, but I'm hugely excited to see what they're coming up with.
Marco, did you see what I put up on the screen just for you?
Sorry?
You see what I put up on the screen for the picture for the plastic Lictor just for you?
Not gonna happen. This would be about as cool as the Dominatrix for me, but it's not gonna happen.
Oh, sorry. So how likely is it going to happen?
The sketch or the
Shrike?
Lictor?
Oh, no, the Lictor. That we're going to get a plastic Lictor. Is it Shrike? Is it Red Terror? Is it plastic Lictor?
Well, the Lictor is obviously a plastic Lictor. But it's not going to be close to the sketch at all. It's going to be close to what we had before, I guess. Just more refined.
Man. Okay, well, I'm glad you chose plastic Lictor for plastic Lictor. I'm really waiting for a person who doesn't choose plastic Lictor for plastic Lictor. I knew this was going to be a problem. Next. Who's next? Is it Flynn? Is it Symbio? Symbio? I don't know.
I'll go next. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's plastic Lictor. Because we have rules for a Death Leaper, but no model for a Death Leaper. So the Alpha Lictor is basically the Death Leaper, but they might just change the name of the model, just so that it makes it easier to trademark. Fair enough.
Yeah.
That it's just that's a dead cert. Like to be honest, I'd be wanting to be even more further to the right because it's a resin kit. They want to get rid of all the resin kits. It's one that's been needed an upgrade for a while. It's a dead cert for a redo. It's some rumors may say, oh, they'll put 3 in a box. I think it would just be 1 in a box.
Yeah, I used to feel 3. I agree with 1 now. I think it's going to be like a Parasite of Mortrex.
Because you can make you get one or the other, and that's it.
Symbio.
Okay, now I'm in your spot. The really good points have been made, and I'm now really unsure of my point. But I double down and I say plastic Lictor, yes, but it's gonna be a squad, so Tyranid players have to buy more plastic Lictors.
But then they have to let Tyranid players field 3 plastic Lictors, and I don't think they want to do that.
No, not 3, 6 or 12. Buy that shit.
That just doesn't fit the law.
Buy that shit.
Buy
that shit.
Look at GW, you care about the lore.
I want the Lictor to be expensive and singular and just a solo character.
Yeah.
And be really
that is what you want, but it's not what you get.
It's not gonna happen.
You heard it here first.
I made a couple of plastic Lictors. They were a giant pain in the ass. I want them to make me one. So I say plastic Lictor on the plastic Lictor.
What does the chat say?
The only person who's saying it is anything but plastic Lictor is Barkais, who says it is a Shrike. But he's saying it's Shrike for everything.
Wilson is chiming in.
Vargas lives in a Shrike kind of place right now.
Tom Wilson says, sounds like a wish list to me. I've got my fingers crossed that I'm wrong, though. So they're saying it's a Shrike as well.
I was not expecting to be that divisive.
Also, the fact of the game for Space Marine 2 is coming out about roughly the same time that the start of 10th is happening. So it's just all of it, just all combining as one is just like, yeah, it does seem like, why are you going to have a video game for your
Flynn, oh my god,
at the same time?
I never realized how good that is, that Space Marine is dropping at the same time as a box with Space Marines and Tyranids in it. People are going to buy that fucking game. They're going to be like, these are so cool, I want to play with these. And be like, hey, why don't you buy this box? Buy this box. Buy this box. Want this box? Buy this box.
That's what I thought.
That's really smart. I, for some reason, didn't think about the tie into the game. And I was like, how insidious would it be if, like, Games Workshop held... First of all, Bargaze says in the chat, and I believe this, I'm on the same page as Bargaze. Games Workshop and video games that feed off each other. Oh wait, no, Games Workshop doesn't coordinate with games. I would feel the same way. They probably don't coordinate, but maybe they're getting their stuff together. Maybe they're going to release like the second wave of Tyranids with the expansion of the game and be like, here are your new creatures.
Oh, here's the DLC. Here's your DLC for the game. Here's your DLC for the Marines and the Nids. Yeah, I can see them doing that.
That'd be cheeky. Be smart. I don't know if they're coordinated enough to do that.
Oh, they won't be coordinated for that, but their initial release they will be, I think.
Let's go for Alpha Apex Swarmlord.
I just think it's a big no, because basically you're going to have the Hive Tyrant, you're going to have the Swarmlord, and then you're going to have the Apex Swarmlord kit. And there's been no rumors about a new Hive Tyrant kit being released. So that's why I'm just going, that one is pipe dream to the max. It's a complete and utter Shrike on it. It's this is where, for me, it's a no.
We got to keep moving. I'm going to go next. I think that this is going to happen. For some reason, it makes sense to me. I worried that if we ask Games Workshop for a big enough Tyranid, just like they've taken Gaunts and made them really big to make like monstrous creatures, I was worried that we would get our biggest Tyranid that they're going to release is going to be just like, here's a Swarmlord, we just made him taller, and like that's all you get. So I'm worried that's going to happen, but for some reason I believe that the Swarmlord is coming, and that I think what they're going to do with the old one, they're going to completely take it out of the codex. Those boxes are going to be reboxed. It's just going to say like Hive Tyrant, you can put 4 bone swords on it, and it's not going to be a Swarmlord kit anymore. It's just going to be options for the Hive Tyrant, and that the Swarmlord will now be the Apex Swarmlord expensive big kit that will be on the same scale as the Avatar. Symbio.
I think Shrike. I just thought about it and I was like plastic Lictor, just not because we are getting a new model, but we're just getting a renaming of the Hive Tyrant. But I think the Hive Tyrant is copyright in a good spot. I think I go Shrike on that one.
Hey, Marco?
Yeah, well, until you made a good point, Nick, that it sounds totally sensible. I agree with Symbio and Flynn. I think the screws are cut for the Hive Tyrant. I don't think they're going to redistribute this one. So I think it's very unlikely. Of course, we'll get a large kit or two, but I don't think it's going to be a bigger Swarmlord.
I just pulled up another image of a Apex Swarmlord in my heart. This is from Deshande V2 on Instagram, and Deshande made Tyranids back when we were all kicking around Warp Shadow, and this was the Warp Shadow forums. And this was a Carnifex Tyrant kit that he converted while on Warp Shadow.
There's a sketch on right now, Nick.
It's probably going to come up in a second. You guys are delayed, right? So
yeah,
you don't see it. You hear me say it before you see it on YouTube.
Yep, now it's on.
Yeah. So this is this is a conversion that Deshande did using a plastic Carnifex kit. A lot of people were doing these. What did people call them? Carna Tyrant? Is there a name for them?
No.
Okay. These bigging up of Carnifexes, making them upright, turning them into Hive Tyrants, but I don't feel like anyone did it quite as well as Deshande did, with a lot of changes to like the head and the horn and like great whip, extended tail. It was just really classy. So sorry, Marco, you think what is it? Red Terror, Plastic Lictor?
Shrike.
Shrike. Okay. I thought I talked you around my weird talk. Okay, and chat, Flynn, where's the chat?
I still think, well, I would be very, very, very disappointed if they made it, well, we have a Swarmlord in the Hive Tyrant kit. Now we have an even bigger Swarmlord. Nah,
okay, right.
Forget it.
The chat is 2 Shrikes, 2 Red Terrors, 1 Lictor. The chat is a Red Terror ahead of a Shrike. Just a little bit, but not too sure about it. Okay, thank you, chat. What the heck else were we going to hit?
We've got the Biovores, Pyrovores dual kit, which is another dead cert for me.
Okay, does anyone want to talk about Biovore? Okay, hit him quick, because I'm not even going to put up a picture. Hold on, wait, let me do a thing. I don't even have a. There's a lot of good conversions out there, but I don't remember them right now. Oh wait, who's that guy who put the Zoanthrope heads on them? Can anyone remember off the top of their head?
No.
Posted within the last month. I'll see if I can find it while we're talking. Okay, quick, hit me with how you feel about a Biovore Pyrovore dual kit.
That is the only kit I can see happening as a dual kit. So
that's the only one you agree with?
That is really the only one I agree with, as I think this range renewal will be the death of a dual kit for Tyranids.
Oh no, that would be sad.
So that is the only plastic Lictor when it comes to dual kit.
Okay. All right. So Symbio Joe coming out for the plastic Lictor on a dual kit of these boys. Marco, what do you say?
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Very likely.
Very likely.
I think it's a plastic Lictor.
Yeah. And Flynn?
Yeah, it's a dead set. It's 2 kits that are in fine cast. It just makes sense because at the moment they might be good on the tabletop, but people aren't buying them because of the price cost on them. It's just plastic Lictor all the way because people have been asking for it for ages. As a dual kit as well.
Here's the really cool conversions of Pyrovores. They're done by Kilo Sculpts, and I think they're great. Look at that pretty boy. I think the body... Was that the old Bio... No, those are Scything Talon arms on the body. I think this is a really elegant solution for converting a Biovore Pyrovore out of plastic. So you've got like 2 Death Spitters there. You've got 2 Hormagaunt Claws. You got guard arms. You got a big Venomthrope sack in there. And you got some Scything Talons turned into legs, which is brilliant. That's a damn cool conversion. For me, I am also dead certain that we're getting this because, like everyone said before me, they're fine cast. I'm just like a little bit extremely maybe because part of me is like, does Games Workshop even care? Like at this point, they've left them for so long. I hope they do them, but it's probably going to happen. Flynn, what did the chat say about them?
Basically, they were Lictors.
They were all Lictors. Okay, so everyone thought that the Biovore Pyrovore was definitely coming in the chat. Magistraunts, go!
That's an unlikely. It's come on the most recent one. It's an unlikely for me.
Yeah, well, I have no idea. It sounds so made up to me, honestly, and I don't want to even speculate.
We didn't know what the heck to put as a picture for this, but literally as I was looking this up, this conversion came up, which seems perfect. This is when I was trying to find pictures of a Pyrovore. They're described as a Venomthrope mixed with a Pyrovore, and apparently they were conceived of on November 10th, 2022 by Varadae.
Yes, exactly like that.
That's how it happened.
Also, Magistraunts, Shrike.
All 3 of us so far are Shrikes.
Shrikes.
Because you don't really want to comment on it, it's a Shrike.
Okay, so that is Symbio says Shrike. Flynn says, chat, how do you feel about Magistraunts, which are described as a mix between a Pyrovore and a Venomthrope? But keep in mind that could just be someone looking at a model and being like, I don't know, Tyranids, that thing's got tentacles. It's got like something that's barfing at the front of it. Like maybe that's the problem. Someone's misidentifying it, but I still don't think they're coming. I think the name is so stupid. I don't think it's going to happen.
So far, we're at 2 Shrikes.
2 Shrikes for chat. So chat, look at that. We all agreed on something. I think this is the first one we all agreed on.
3 Shrikes, we're done.
The Tyranid Creature Conference is 100% in agreement that Magistraunts are never fucking going to happen. And that if they do, you can come back and say, Mr. Pink, you said Magistraunts were never going to happen. You owe me a Magistraunt kit. If Magistraunts are released, I will buy that box and I will give it away on stream. On video stream, not on Instagram. You got to be here to get it. But remind me that if
I'll turn one into
it comes out and the name is Magistraunts, you let me know, I will buy it and I will give it away on stream. So yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. There was a rumor for a big, beefy Tyranid Prime with a big bone sword and a claw whip and 2 Devourers. And I was like, Flynn, where are we going to find a model for that? And he was like, Pinky, you're an idiot. You already made one. I'm like, so I did. Oh. Good point. Tyranid Primus, I think this is called. Marco, what do you think about the Tyranid Primus? Do you think it's coming? Do you think they're making another Tyranid Prime standalone model with big sword, big...
Yeah, it's a plastic Lictor for me. Very likely.
It feels very likely for you?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, how many Primaris lieutenants have we got?
Right. Hey, Symbio Joe came up with, when I was trying to explain to him this scale, and I wasn't doing a very good job. He was like, oh yeah, there's this new breed of Tyranid that's evolved from Primaris lieutenants. They only eat Primaris lieutenants because there's so many Primaris lieutenants.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's a good point. Like they just want some, because like the thing that kind of blew my mind with the Parasitomortrex is that was the first time the Tyranids had gotten like a blister character, other than like pewter ones, like a plastic blister character. And I think you're right. The Games Workshop might be looking to make more plastic blister characters, and this could be one. Flynn, go.
I think it is plastic Lictor. So it means I need to get some current primes before they do whatever they do to them, because I'm thinking...
No. I think they'll just leave those bits in the box. They're not going to like recut the sprue again unless they're totally replacing warriors.
That's what I think they're going to do, because
no one has rumored there's going to be replacement warriors. No one has said that. And they freshly repainted those plastic warriors that people have noticed with the yellow highlights. So I would be shocked. I'd be a Shrike on that.
They're not freshly repainted, Nick.
Okay.
That's been in the 8th. That was in the 8th edition codex, because they...
Oh, damn it.
In the 8th edition codex, they have a painting section of how to differentiate between different strains of the same Hive fleet. You can put yellow dots on the back of the carapace for Leviathan for one of them. So it's just they've put those models out instead for the pictures this time.
Symbio.
I think I go with Shrike, because the plastic warrior kit is in a very good spot to represent the prime warrior thing.
I am right there with you, Symbio Joe. I think that Marco and Flynn Hammer made some very good points, and they swayed me slightly. But I think that they've already got a Tyranid Prime in the Warrior kit, and only Tyranid players wish they had a better Prime. Games Workshop's like, I don't care. I made you.
The Warrior kits are going to be in the Combat Patrol box, the Boarding Patrol box, also with the Genestealers and a Broodlord. So it does seem like they're going to try and put a lot of the kits they're trying to get rid of in that box that they're going to sell for a little bit cheaper than they normally do.
It's interesting you mentioned the Broodlord, because back in July 2022, when it said it was supposed to be the contents of the 10th edition box, where they're like macro effects, Hypergaunts, Genestealers, Hormagaunts, Zoanthrope, they had a Broodlord on there, but it didn't say new Broodlord. Like they said new Hormagaunts, new Genestealers, and they just said Broodlord, Zoanthrope HQ. So we don't know if that's a new Broodlord or if that's an old one that they're just repackaging, but you could have a point that they're trying to clear out all the stock in those Combat Patrol boxes. But I really don't believe they're redoing this. That would be amazing. I would be so shocked. I'd be so happy, but I don't believe it's happening. What is the chat saying, Lynn?
3 red terrors, 1 Shrike.
The chat is extremely maybe and leaning a little bit Shrike on the Tyranid Primus. So they are more with me and Symbio Joe than with Marco and Flynn. And to tie this thing up, the other part of this scale, to confuse everyone, because it's actually on the scale, because our dear sweet friend Hydra can't be here, I made sure that one of his creations was able to join us. As we are going to be talking about the Plastic Red Terror, I pulled up a Plastic Red Terror by our good friend Simon, High Fleet Hydra. Symbio, Plastic Red Terror, where you at?
That is a plastic Lictor.
You definitely going to happen?
I think yes, because GW does not shush away from special characters for everyone. So yes. I think the Red Terror is in there. As much as I despise the concept of special characters for Tyranids, I think it's gonna make a return.
Okay, Flynn.
I'm saying it is plastic Lictor, but I'm leaning a little bit towards Red Terror itself. The reason why is, if it was still in the codex, 100% I'd be on extremely likely, because it's a fine cast model if it was still around, but it's not around anymore. In extremely likely, but just
okay.
Close.
Marco, what are you saying?
Well, I think what you all forget is when the Red Terror was around, there was no plastic Trigon. The Red Terror is far too close to the Trigon to be interesting, so I think it's a Shrike. No.
I don't know where to be on this. I want there to be way more single blister plastic Tyranid critters, but I don't know if we're going to get this one. I think they might give us new shit. So how fittingly, I'm on Red Terror when it comes to plastic Red Terror.
So chat have gone for, so it's 2 Shrikes, a Red Terror, and a plastic Lictor. So it's basically in the middle.
I didn't think we were going to make it through all the rumors, but we made it through all the rumors. That's all of them. So thanks, squad. You did a great job. And thank you, chat, for joining in on this. This has been fun. I've had fun. Symbio, Marco, Lynn, what do you think?
Amazing. Let's do this again.
Yay!
thanks everyone. This has been great. If you've enjoyed this, people always say this at the beginning of their videos. You say at the end. If you sat through all this and you were like, yes, thank you, sir, I'd like another. Please like this video. Please leave a comment below. And please subscribe and hit the little dingy bell on my channel, because we do this every other week. We have the Creature Conference, and then on off weeks we head to Work in Progress Wednesday. And as more Tyranid stuff drops, I think we're going to be doing more of this.
It's going to be a hot year.
It's going to be a hot Tyranid summer. Get your bioplasma ready now. Get it slathered all over your body, because it's going to be amazing. Shrike for... God damn. Okay. Bargeist gets the last laugh, because Bargeist has rated Tyranid Summer, and Bargeist gives the concept of Tyranid Summer one big Shrike right in the face. Oh, right in your face with that Shrike. Oh, now I'm going to get demonetized. That gun definitely looks like a dog. Thank you, Marco, for providing the final screen of our stream this week. The giant Hive Fleet Ouroboros Shrike blocking out Tyranid Summer, because it does not want it to happen.
Let's go.
With that, it says good night.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.